Welcome everyone. Welcome to BlockApps monthly new features and tips webinar. A little background on BlockApps. At BlockApps, it's our mission to accelerate blockchain adoption. And to do that, we've built a platform called STRATO. It's a blockchain app development platform that makes it easy to build and deploy decentralized apps. So today we're going to go through STRATO and show you the new features that we've built for it. I'm Jason Tessera. I'm the head of training here at BlockApps. And joining me today is my colleague Samrit Sangal.
Hey everybody.
Samrit is our lead platform developer.
During today's new features and tips webinar for November 15th, 2017, we will cover an overview of STRATO, STRATO's new integrated code editor, how you can join the beta STRATO network, our new app Launchpad, and we'll finish it off with the Q&A. With that, I'm going to hand it off to Samrit.
All right, there we go. All right, can everyone see? I hope everyone can see the dashboard. Jason, can you see the dashboard?
Absolutely, Samrit. Good to go.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is our STRATO management dashboard. STRATO is our platform. It's our in-house implementation of the Ethereum protocol. It's written in Haskell, and it has a few other features. So this is a good place to look at all of those features. So we'll walk through the various screens of what this allows you to do. So first up, this is our test dev server. It's stratodev.blockapps.net. You guys can look at it too. And if you look, it shows you the health of the node. So each node that you set up in the network has its own dashboard, and it shows you that it's at block 881. It has one user account and a couple of contracts that I uploaded this morning. These are some of the network stats. These are the block propagation times, just the amount of time it's taking to mine the blocks, and this is the current difficulty. If we expand these, it shows us some peers that are connected to this node, and this is just an overview of the node. If you dive in deeper, you can look at the block explorer. So this is, it's showing us the last 15 blocks right now, but you can change that. You can search by number. So you can say, I want to look at block 870. And it'll show you just block 870. You can change, you can say, I want to look at the last 20 instead of the last 15. So not sure what happened there, but show you block 10. If you click into it, you can look at the block itself. So more details about the nonces, the difficulties, the parent hashes, the state roots, all of those things. Transaction is similar. These are all the transactions on your chain. Transfers, contract creations, method invocations. You can browse for them. You can search for them, similar to how you would do it for the block explorer. Accounts is, so one of the key things to remember with blockchains is, of course, that whatever you do on the chain, there's a decent amount of data that you have to manage off-chain in order to interact with it. So from a user account perspective on the Ethereum blockchain, that is private keys. So we do some sort of rudimentary key management to make it easier to sign transactions and send transactions. So you can create a user account. This is essentially creating a private key, so I can create a new private key, give it a password. This is an alias essentially for an address. So I create this. This has created this private key. I can faucet this account. On our test network, you get 1,000 Ether for fauceting. And if I go back to the dashboard, I can see these transactions coming through. If I go look at these transactions again, I see someone else has created an account as well. So this is showing me 1,000 Ether. So this is, you can now use this account to perform transactions on the chain. So one of the basic transactions you can perform is that you can send Ether. So that's something that you can do here. You can pick from the addresses that this node knows about, or rather the addresses that this node is storing the private keys for, or you can pick a completely random address to send. So one of the new features that we've added is that you can copy addresses to clipboard, because sometimes when you're debugging applications or working with distributed applications, you might want to either copy some transaction hashes, or you might want to copy some block hashes. So it's super easy to just copy them, and then you can paste them wherever you need them. So let's go over and try and upload a smart contract. So there are multiple ways in which you can interact with smart contracts. One of the ways that we'll look at over here is just uploading a smart contract directly from the hard disk. So I can pick a user account, the address. I'm going to mark it as searchable. We'll see in a moment what this really means. And I'm going to pick a simple storage account to upload. And the simple storage is a very simple contract, and we'll see in a bit. I'll show you the source code for this contract. So this is going through. It's actually waiting for the block to get mined and get a confirmation that the contract has actually been uploaded. So that can take up to 14 seconds. So there we go. So now when we look at this, this is a contract. So this contract, let me just go over, and this is another one of our features. We've added a code editor that allows you to quickly edit Solidity smart contracts, and you can import files from your hard disk. So I'm going to just import the smart contract we just uploaded, so you can all look at the code. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. There's a function. There's it's a full-featured code editor with code highlighting and indentation and all the good stuff. And it's a simple contract. All it's doing is it's storing state for one integer. There's a getter and a setter. And you can compile it over here. It'll tell you if it's compiled successfully or not. You can download this as is. If you refresh the browser, it stores the state in local storage, so you don't lose your work. In case you can download it, it'll download it as a file as well. And you can compile and upload it right from the editor itself. So it's the same concept. You would have to provide some private key, the password with which this private key is locked on the server, and then you can upload it directly from the code editor. But coming back to the searchable, what does it mean when you mark something as searchable? So part of our framework is that we have this component called Cirrus. And what Cirrus does is it listens for state diffs as contracts come in. So if a contract ends up changing the state of if a transaction ends up changing the state of an existing contract, we listen for those changes. And once you've told the platform that you're interested in listening for changes for this kind of contract, it starts indexing it to a database. So one of the key problems with building applications against smart contracts or Ethereum is that it's really hard to query the data. You have to know the exact address, you have to know the storage, you have to have the ABI of the contract so that you know how to decode the storage, and it's not trivial. So what we've done is we built a component that does all of this for you. So if you go to the query builder, it just all simple storage contracts will now be indexed. So if I were to go here and I was to upload another one, let's say I upload another simple storage contract, and just create this. Contracts created. If we go back and look at the contracts, we should see two different ones. And I can, for contracts that I uploaded directly from here, I can say, I can call a method. So let me change the value of the variable X for this one. And I can say, I don't want to send it anything, let me set it to 10. And I'm making a function call here directly from the dashboard. And that tells me that the function call succeeded. The state has changed to 10. Now if I go to the query builder, I see two different contracts. One is X, one is 0, one is 10. If I wanted to query, I could query it. I could say, give me everything where X is equal to 10, and I would get a query. So you could use something like this directly in your applications to build reports, to build any map reduces, to actually build usable applications against the blockchain. So think of Cirrus as sort of a relational database that's storing a mirror image of your contract data. So with that, that's sort of a brief, very quick overview of what we're doing. If you want to dig deeper, you can click on these links. They're basically documentation for the various APIs that you can use to build applications against, quickly build applications and prototype applications against the Ethereum blockchain. So these are all the documentations, some examples. You can try them out yourself. So let's move on to talking about smart applications. We've seen how you can take a smart contract and upload it, and it's not enough to just do that. In order to create a usable distributed application, there's also a fair amount of work that goes into creating a front end. So to demonstrate that, we are sort of playing around with creating this application platform, this distributed application platform, and this is our first public preview of this functionality. So what we have here is we have a front end, a very simple HTML front end for this same simple storage contract that you saw. So it's just an integer, and we're going to change it. So if we go to this app, we have already deployed this smart contract. I'm just going to launch it right now, and this says it needs a username. So let me go here and copy that one. So I'm going to say this is my username, this is my address, this is my password, and I'm going to deploy a simple storage contract. So it's, well, I guess that didn't work as expected. Let's try another thing. So I've just deployed a local node using the Strato Getting Started repository, which is public. You all can also use that. And I set the boot node as my Strato dev environment. So now if I go to localhost, I should have a locally running Strato node that should be synced up to the chain. Seems to be. So the way these apps work is that you can deploy an application using the same any username and the current private key that you have. You need the password to unlock the private key, and then you need to upload a package, and the package is if you go to our documentation, the the requirement and the structure for the application is specified over here. It needs to sort of match this this format exactly, and the assumption is that inside the UI you can make calls to our APIs. So our application platform will then take this package and ship it around the network. So every node will be able to access the UI. So once you've uploaded the application, it will store the smart contracts on the blockchain, and it will hash and pass around your UI to every node as and when it's required. So if you look at, here is another node that is connected to this network, and if I look at apps, there's already an app over here. So these are two different nodes, Strato Dev and Silo. And let me go ahead and drop a prepackaged lottery app that we have. This app is all it does is it creates a lottery. People can enter this lottery. Let's say it says we're going to sell 10 tickets, and after the 10th ticket is sold, we will randomly pick one participant from the people who have contributed Ether to the smart contract, and they will get all the Ether. It's very simple. So this is the dApp getting uploaded right now. Again, it's waiting for the block confirmation time to make sure that the application is actually uploaded.
Samrat, we had one question coming in asking if you could make the text size just a little bit bigger.
There we go. Is that better?
Thank
you. Okay,
absolutely.
So that was uploaded. Now you have this lottery demo app. And the cool thing is that even though you uploaded it in Strato Dev, if you were to go to this other app, you can see that it also knows about this. So this app that you have just uploaded has now been launched to all the nodes in the network. And it's not just the smart contracts, but it's also the UI. So let's see on the hosts, if I say launch, it launches this UI with the hash of the application. It shows me that no lotteries are in progress right now. I can create a new, I can say, okay, as dApp1, I want to create a new lottery. And I want to sell 10 tickets for 2 Ether each. And let's create that. So this goes through, again, waits for block confirmation. And again, if you were building an application, you would probably have some spinners and things like that. We were just building a quick demo app, so we don't have any of that. And then you should see that pop up in a second. And now anyone who comes in can either create a lottery or they can participate in an existing lottery. Not just that, every node that's part of your network can also discover this app and launch it locally on their own machine. So as you can see, this is being served from a completely different server, and it's the same app that's on a different server. It can see the same data that this server can see. So your data is shared and your app is distributed, and this is really what we're trying to demo. And so other users can come in and participate and look at this app. So let's do that. So I'm on Strato Silo 1. No one has participated yet, so let me go ahead and participate. Since I'm on Silo 1, there are no accounts on Silo 1. In order to interact with this application on this other server, I need some user accounts that are sort of in this server's wallet. So I'm going to create a user here, and I'm calling it a test user. And let me faucet that, and let me copy the address. So now as test user, let's say I buy 3 lottery tickets, and I can enter the lottery, fail to find account. So we don't have this account for some reason. Also participate on this server. So again, this is all like very new, it's not really ready. We're just trying to get some feedback and let people use it and see how they would use it to create applications. This is again waiting for, so you should see the tickets update, and this is, if we go here now, which is a different server, you should see the same state updated across servers because the smart contract is actually being stored on the chain. You can also go to the contracts and look at this lotteries now, and you can look at the lottery contract and you can look at its state. So you can see that there are 3 entries, there are 10 tickets, and then 3 have been sold. You can also query it using Cirrus, which is what the application is doing, and making a UI out of it. And this is kind of the Launchpad or our app platform to distribute not just the state of the application, but the user interface as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Samrit.
Yeah.
This is a perfect time for us to jump into any questions that the group might have. And I'm looking through the question pane and the chat. Doesn't seem to be anything there. So what we're going to do is we're going to close out the question section and move back to the presentation. You can see what was just done. You can actually do it yourself by going to blockapps.net. And when you go to blockapps.net, you have the Strato demo, and this is actually the same instance that that Samrit was running the lottery app on. So you can click Strato demo, and that'll pop up right here, and you can actually go and participate in the same lottery demo app. So feel free to try that out. You can also look through Strato, don't forget to create your user, faucet it with some Ether, and then go ahead and participate. In addition, you can download your own version of Strato by clicking the Get Started, and from here you can go to downloading a local version. If you're interested in staying in touch, also come to the website and you can join our bi-weekly newsletter, and we'll send you some information on a bi-weekly basis. That'll include things like announcements for webinars, as well as training events, and we also have meetups at the end of each month. So I'm just going to jump back in the presentation. We also have a developer forum, so if you do start developing dApps, we are here to support you, and there's a great growing community on the developer forum. And if there's any questions, feel free to contact us. Just send an email to info@blockapps.net.
That's it for this month's New Features and Tips webinar. Look out for the next installment of this series in December.